What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Ben Ballion, back with another episode of the Sports Pod. And today I'm going to talk about the Yankees amid the Gerrit Cole injury news, amid the Jason Dominguez left field situation, their third base situation with DJ LeMahieu out now. There is a lot of question marks for the New York Yankees. I'll get into all of it on the other side of the intro. Hit it.
DiVincenzo at three. Bang! Bang! Second strike. At the wall, he jumps. It's gone. He did it. He did it. Pete Alonso with the most memorable home run of his career.
All right, getting into the episode, and I'm going to start with Gerrit Cole because that's the big news. That's the headline. That's the head story in sports today. Maybe you can make a case for some NFL news, but on the baseball front, it's definitely Gerrit Cole. He's going to miss the entirety of the 2025 season because he needs Tommy John surgery. His elbow was acting up. He got imaging. The Yankees got a second opinion. I think they tried to do everything they could to avoid this, but at the end of the day, Gerrit Cole needs Tommy John surgery, and he's going to miss the whole season. So what does this mean for the Yankee rotation? Well, it's another guy on the shelf. You already have Luis Gil, who's probably going to be out till at least June. In my opinion, it'll be closer to July. Clark Schmidt isn't back yet. I mean, Rodon has been injury-plagued throughout his career. And Max Fried, he's up there, 37, 38 years old? So for the Yankees rotation, and I talked about this. Oh, Fried's only 31. I thought he was a lot older than that. But still, what I was thinking, by the end of his contract, he'll be 37 or 38 because it was a long contract. So the Yankees rotation, all the guys pretty much have been injury plagued throughout their career. I talked about this back in. It had to be January or February. And now it's coming to fruition. Everything that I said is coming true. The Yankees needed to stack the deck. They wanted to build their identity on pitching. The problem with that is they didn't sign enough guys. You can never have enough pitching in the sport of baseball. I mean, the Dodgers have 2 rotations of top-tier guys, for God's sake. The Yankees barely have 1. And they were going to make their identity about their pitching, like I just mentioned. They weren't going to blow you away with their hitting. They weren't going to lead the league in runs. They were going to lock you down pitching. They were going to pitch. That's how they were going to win games. Now, with 3 of your starters on the shelf, on the IL to start the year, you have an issue. You have a question mark. And there's not that many guys that you're going to be able to bring in. Unless you overpay for a Michael King or a Dylan Cease right now. And I don't think the Padres would be willing to trade either of those guys now until the trade deadline. Just because of how close it is to the season. And they weren't able to get what they wanted in the offseason. So they're going to wait to the trade deadline to maximize the value for those 2 guys. The Yankees have a hole to fill, and there's not many options that are available to fill that hole. I mean, Will Warren will start for you. He's proven to be serviceable. But outside of that, who else is there? They don't really have a lot of top pitching prospects. So right now, the starting rotation, it'll be Carlos Rodon. Max Fried will start opening day. Carlos Rodon. Will Warren. Marcus Stroman. That's 4 guys. I don't even know who the 5th guy in that rotation is going to be. I don't know who it'll be. But it's not going to be as good as what they had. Gerrit Cole is the Yankees' bulldog. He's their workhorse. He's their top pitcher. He's their best guy. And to lose him for an entire year, it is big time. It is huge. It is devastating to this team's World Series aspirations. Because the goal for this Yankee team is to go back to the World Series and win it this year. And right now, I don't think that's a possibility. I don't think the Yankees are good enough to go all the way and win the World Series this season. They're not. And you know why? Because they don't have a viable third baseman. Their left fielder has question marks. I mean, Jason Dominguez has not played defense well at all throughout spring training. Their first baseman's getting up there in age. We'll see. Can Anthony Volpe get back to what he was at the start of last season? Because if you don't remember, he was hitting about 300 at the start of last year, and then he kind of fizzled out once he got moved to the leadoff spot. Is Volpe going to be able to return to that? Because I think that's one of a key aspect if the Yankees are going to go back to the World Series. In losing Juan Soto, you need other guys to step up. You need other guys to be better. Because straight up, the combination of Goldie and Belly, it's not going to replace what Juan Soto gave you. And maybe Aaron Judge has a bigger year, but even that, it's still not going to replace what Juan Soto gave you. So you need a guy like Volpe to step up. You need a guy like Dominguez to step up. You need a guy like Cabrera, who in my opinion is going to be the opening day starter at third. A guy like that. Oswaldo Cabrera plays with a flair. He has a flair for the dramatic, and he's one of those guys where he will step up for a week. He started this season off so hot last year, and then DJ LeMahieu took his spot. And DJ LeMahieu was terrible. And then DJ LeMahieu was injured, and Jazz Chisholm came in and took his spot again. But right now for the Yankees, Oswaldo Cabrera is going to get a shot. And Oswald Peraza is not going to be the third baseman opening day. Oswald Peraza might get one or two starts at third base. It's going to be Oswaldo Cabrera. He's going to be the guy who dominates that position. He's going to be the guy that gets the first look. Oswaldo Cabrera has been a utility guy. He plays everywhere for the Yankees for the past 3 years at this point. It's not like he's a rookie trying to prove something to us that nobody knows he can't do. I think everyone knows that Oswaldo Cabrera is capable of playing and is capable of being serviceable. At least I think he is. We haven't seen that yet from him because he hasn't gotten the opportunity yet. Oswaldo Cabrera has never gotten a true opportunity. But right now, these first couple months of the season, until DJ LeMahieu returns from his injury, Oswaldo Cabrera will get the shot at third base. He will be the everyday third baseman. Aaron Boone will throw him out there. We'll put him in the lineup, whether it's hitting him 5th, 6th, or he's hitting 8th or 9th. I think it's more likely to be 7th, 8th, or 9th. Oswaldo Cabrera has a chance to be the spark plug, the guy who nobody really expects to be that good, but he's the X factor, the game changer. He'll win you a game. He'll get a big hit for you. He'll make a big defensive play because that's what Oswaldo Cabrera does. He's that type of player. He's not going to be the best player on the field. He's not going to be a player that you can't keep his name out of your mouth, but he's going to win you a game. He's going to make a big play here, get a big hit there, and he'll change games for the Yankees, and I'm excited to see what he has to offer. Originally, this is the guy that I wanted to play third base, and I still do want him to play third base, and I want him to prove himself, because when he's at his peak, he is a very fun player to watch. So, for third base, the Yankees hopefully have an answer in Oswaldo Cabrera, and if they don't, Nolan Arenado is sitting out there right on the trade market. Maybe you swing a trade for Arenado and you see if you could catch lightning in a bottle with him. You reconnect Goldie and Goldschmidt and Arenado, who played in St. Louis together, and you see if you could rekindle a connection from there because they went to the playoffs back in 2022, maybe I want to say. I know they lost in the wild card to the Giants one year, but they were in the playoffs. So, I don't know if they lost to the Giants, actually. Let me see. Cardinals, recent playoffs. It's going to take me a while to find it. I know they went to the playoffs, though, on a team with Albert Pujols and Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. Their pitching was always solid. They had like Lars Nootbaar, maybe Harrison Bader was out there at that point. So there is an option to trade for if the Yankees want to make a trade at third base to bolster that position. But if they don't make the trade, I think you can get by with Oswaldo Cabrera. You're going to take a hit at that position. Because I don't know if Oswaldo is necessarily a World Series third baseman. I think at his ceiling he can be, but at his floor and really anywhere a little bit above that, I don't think he's a World Series third baseman. I think he's a guy who could get you by, but I don't know if he's probably good enough. That's what I'm going to say. He's good enough if he's playing at where he's supposed to be. If he's not playing worse than his averages suggest, if he's playing right at his median, right at his mean, right where everyone expects him to be, I think he could get you by in a World Series and give you a good chance to win it. But right now, I know Yankee fans are concerned that the team might not even make the playoffs. With all these injuries, with Jason Dominguez out in left field, which I'm going to get to next, they are concerned the Yanks might not be a playoff team. They're concerned the Bronx Bombers season might end in September. They might not make it to October. And with these injuries, I can't buy it. Even with the injuries, I can't get behind the fact that the Yankees will not be a playoff team. This is still my favorite in the American League. So, what these injuries do, it dampens your expectations for sure. But this is still a Yankee team that should be vying for the World Series, that should be the number one seed in the AL, should win the AL East, and then try to make a run at it. And if you don't win it, okay, it's hard to do. It's hard to win the playoffs in Major League Baseball, because there's always one team that gets super hot and wins it, except for last year when the Dodgers, who were the clear-cut favorite all year, went out and won it, and then they spent a bunch of money this offseason. Now they're the favorites again, and we'll see. They might win it again. They might not, though. Now let me get to Jason Dominguez and the left field situation for the New York Yankees. Cody Bellinger should swallow his pride and play left field. Jason Dominguez came up through the Yankees minor league system playing center field. He played center field his whole career. Playing left field, the ball comes at you at a different spin. It'll slice towards the line from a lefty. It'll pull towards the line from a righty. It'll come off you at weird spin. When you're playing center field, it's coming at you pretty straight. There's not too much wacky spin unless the ball's getting caught in the wind and swirling winds and stuff like that. The ball's coming directly at you for the most part. You don't have to read too difficult of balls, though. In left field, there's all kinds of wacky spin because the ball is going to pull you to the corner. It's going to send you to the gap, the left center field gap. So Cody Bellinger is a guy who's played right field in his career. The switch from right field to left field is a lot easier than a switch from center field to left field. I think Cody Bellinger has what it takes to be a left fielder. I don't know if Jason Dominguez does, though. Watching some of those plays back, watching some of those bad drops he had in spring training, a lot of it looks like it's the sun. And at these spring training stadiums, there's no upper deck, there's no 400 level, so that ball won't get caught in the sun as much. Those levels do a pretty solid job at blocking the sun. So I'm not worried about it on that aspect, but he had trouble going to his left, I believe. He has trouble going to his left. When he's moving to his right, he's automatic. He's fine. It's not a big issue with him catching balls. But when he's moving to the left, he struggles. It doesn't come as natural to him. So that worries me. That worries me for the Yankees. And what has he proven on the major league level? He hit for 1 week and then he got hurt. Is he going to stay healthy? What's your backup plan in left field? What is it? Is it calling up Spencer Jones? I mean, who's the backup? Trent Grisham can't play left field. So in that moment, Cody Bellinger would have to play left field because Trent Grisham can only play center and Judge isn't moving from right. So Bellinger would have to play left. Case in point. He should just move to left now, swallow his pride. It'll be better for the team in the long run because Dominguez is a better center fielder and Cody Bellinger will be fine in left. I know he's probably not going to be as good, but he'll be good enough and he'll get the Yankees by. I won't see an issue with Cody Bellinger in left field. The outfield situation for the Yankees, it should be Judge in right, Dominguez in center, Belly in left, and Trent Grisham coming off the bench when one of the guys needs a day. Trent Grisham's got a hamstring injury also. There's so many injuries for the Yankees. The last thing I'm going to get to is Giancarlo Stanton's injury, which worries me because Giancarlo Stanton injury is tennis elbow. And the way tennis elbow works is that it takes time to heal. Yes, there's a surgery, but the same thing with Garrett Cole. I think the Yankees are doing everything they can to avoid surgery. I don't think they want to have their guys go through surgery. They don't want their guys on the shelf at all. And I don't know what the timetable would be for Big G if he does get the surgery. But if it's less than 6 months, I would get it. If you could get him back on the field by the middle of July with the surgery, I would just do it so you don't have to worry about it. He's going to need those couple weeks to get his timing back in order. But if you get the surgery now and he's back in the middle of July, you'll have the rest of July, August, and September to get your timing dialed in, and you're locked in for October. And October is what really matters. And October is where Giancarlo Stanton shines. You need him. You need Giancarlo Stanton if you want to go to the World Series. And if you don't have him by the time it's by the middle of July at latest, I'm going to be extremely worried. Because you know he's good for a soft tissue injury that'll take a couple weeks to a month. If you can avoid that injury, it's great. But if the Yankees can't avoid that soft tissue injury this year for Giancarlo Stanton, there's a problem there. There is a problem because then he'll come back. I'm assuming he'll be back at some point in June if he doesn't get the surgery. He'll be back in June. He'll get his timing right. He'll have his oblique injury, his hamstring injury, his, I don't know, whatever. Some weird tissue injury. He'll be out for another couple weeks to a month. Then he'll come back, let's say in August. He'll have his timing down, ready to go for the playoffs. So it's a fine line that you have to straddle with the Giancarlo Stanton injury, but if he's back by the middle of July with the surgery, I would just get it now. He's had about 3 rounds of PRP injections, which seems like a lot for the amount of time that it's taken. I think he had 2 back-to-back days. Or that's what when I read it. So it might not have been, but I read it on back-to-back days, which makes me think he probably had it on back-to-back days or on like one and then a day off and then another one, which seems like a lot to me. But we'll see with Giancarlo Stanton. Garrett Cole's done for the year. Luis Gil's probably not coming back till the middle of June. Clark Schmidt is pitching in simulated games. I doubt he'll be ready for opening day. Thank God you didn't trade Marcus Stroman because you need him now. He's your 4th starter. The Yankees have a bunch of injuries. It's going to hurt their team as a whole. DJ LeMahieu on the shelf with his calf injury. There are so many injuries. It's going to hurt the Yankees. I can't wait. 17 days till MLB opening day. I am excited. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, following. I really appreciate it. Make sure you go check out all my socials linked in the description below. Also, leave me a voicemail with your sports questions and takes at 848-305-8073. And most importantly, keep it locked with the Sports Pod.